Shalom, 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 Yasha Allah. This your boy, Brother Shamwa Allah, back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called Good Night, Babylon. Good night, Babylon. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say Halal, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and His only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone, who have ruled well to the Spirit, and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. Another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. All right. Like I said, today's lesson is going to be called Good Night, Babylon. All right. And this is from Total Pro Sports. It says social media thinks they caught Donald Trump sleeping during live broadcast of his visit to Saudi Arabia. Right. You see his lights out for him, just like Babylon. Right. It says social media thought they caught Nero slipping in Saudi Arabia because he appeared to be sleeping in Saudi Arabia on live TV. The president of the United States flew to the Middle East this week for crucial talks with Saudi government. And he'll tell you it was a very productive trip. Says the countries have agreed to a $600 billion economic partnership, which includes the biggest arms deal in U.S. history, with a $142 billion defense agreement being settled. It says the understanding also covers energy, technology, mining, and more. It says the poetess looked like he was struggling to stay awake. It says during a live broadcast of a proceedings, closing his eyes for several seconds while the camera and his mouth curled downward. All right. And then you just got people talking about it. So it says the sighting drew a few critical comments with some users of their view that this was no time for the president to be sleeping. It says sleepy Don Old. They just roll him out for a photo ops anyway. Stephen Miller has it all covered behind the scenes. Let's see. Trump's napping through Saudi talks. Maybe he's saving energy for his next golf game. Real leadership, folks. Others defended Trump, noting that he had just taken a long flight and likely didn't get much sleep the night before. It says the difficult to fly east takes days to adjust, jet lag, right? And just, that was just, a little bit. Then he just had a video of it. I'm not going to play the video. But hey, just like Nero, hey, this place is about to go to sleep, man. It's about to go night-night. All right, let's get a couple of scriptures, right? Let's start off and start off at 2nd Ezra, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 1. It says, woe unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria, right? Because this place is modern day Babylon, modern day Egypt, okay? It calls this place spiritual Sodom and Egypt in Revelation 11. It says, gird up yourselves and clothes of sackcloth and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. All right. And we go to let's go to the book of Isaiah. Right, this place is going to sleep, man. Hey, sleep at the wheel. Right, this place is on cruise control, headed towards a brick wall, headed for destruction. Okay, and nobody's in control. Only Yahawah is in control of where this is going. Okay, Let's go to Isaiah 47, verse number 1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Okay? It says, take the millstones and grind mill. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen, and I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, Yahawah, Bahasham of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Okay, so this place, is spiritual daughter of Babylon, right? The daughter of the Chaldeans, right? Whatever, but this place is finished. Okay, the curtains is closed, and it's time to say goodnight to this place. All right, because this place is over with. Okay, and when Yahawah Bahasham Shai comes with the host of angels, hey, this place is gonna be utterly shut down for good. All right, utterly shut down for good. All right, let's get that right. Jeremiah 51. Let's start at verse number 1. It says, you see the Yahawah Bahasham Shai's judgment on Babylon. It says, thus saith Yahawah Bahasham Shai, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a destroying wind. All right, and that destroying wind, right, those ICBM missiles, okay, which are going to, like the book of Isaiah said, they're going to sweep this place with destruction, all right, with fire through those thermonuclear weapons, those ICBM missiles, all right, that will be shot off by, these other nations, starting with Gog, right, of the land of Magog, right, which is Russia, okay, and his buddies, right, and even the allies of Babylon are going to shoot at this place, okay. It says, verse 2, I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, right, and fan her with what? That fire, okay, fan her with that fire. And I did a lesson on it was like an Edomite who did a lesson. He did a YouTube about what happens during those a nuclear strike, and he said that impact first, it sends out like a blast, like a what do you call that, Salakia, like a shock wave, right? It sends out a shock wave, but what happens is after that shock wave, the air gets sucked back in, right, back up to where the impact was, right? And he showed it where at that point you're going to have that oxygen is going to fuel the fire, and you're going to have like tornadoes of fire, like hundreds of feet high, right, utterly burning everything. Okay. It's going to be fanning its own self, okay, with that nuclear destruction. It says, and I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and empty her land. How? With those missiles. Okay, this place is going to be utterly destroyed. All right, it says, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth the bow, let the archer bend his bow. Right, and that's talking about this modern day bow is talking about those ICBM missiles, right? In those missile silos that they shoot the arrows, which are these ICBM missiles. Okay. It says, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up is his brigandine. It says, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. It says, for Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of the Most High. right, of his most high power. It says of Yahawah of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahawah's vengeance, and he will render unto her a recompense. Okay? And the only people who are going to make it out of, Babylon at that time are going to be the elect. All right? Everyone else who was going to be here shall be thrust through with that sword, right? Utterly burned, okay? When you read the book of Zechariah 14 and 12, right? It'll show you what the plague that the Lord is going to smite this place Babylon with. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in Yahawah's hand that made all the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad, okay? And because they're mad, they're going to shoot those arrows. Okay. Salakia. Verse 11, it says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahawah Shai have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahawah Shai, the vengeance of his temple. Okay. And ultimately, these other nations are all going to, destroy this place. Okay. It says, let's see. Here we go. Verse 25, it says, behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith Yahawah Shai, which destroyed all the earth. Okay, because Esau, Edom, right? The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, and at his mountain, right, which is, you think about the government, the rulership, right? In his mountain, he has done nothing but destroy the earth. All right, and the people that dwell in it. It says, I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks, and I will make thee a burnt mountain. Okay, because their rulership and their government is going to be destroyed. Okay, at that time, when Yahawashi returns, right? Just before those ICBM missiles hit Babylon, Yahawashi and the host of angels are going to show up. They're going to deliver the elect from the four winds, right, from here in Babylon, and this place is going to be utterly destroyed. Okay, Esau's kingdom is coming down. All right, let's get Revelation. Right, Revelation. Let's start at 17 and verse number 18. It says, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Okay, and that woman is talking about Babylon, right? AKA America. All right. And they're about to say goodnight to this place, man. This place is utterly done. All right. Revelation 18 and verse number 2. I'll start at verse 1. It says, and after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. It says, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through her abundance of her delicacies. Right? And it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. All right? Same as what it was saying in Jeremiah, right? Coming out of her, right? It's talking about the elect getting beamed up. Right, when you read the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, right, starting at verse 1, it talks about the strangeness of the salvation. All right, the elect, right, it's going to be a strange salvation. People are not going to, they're going to be in awe of what's going to happen, right, when they start seeing people getting beamed up, into these so-called UFOs or spacecrafts. Okay, let's jump down to verse number. We'll read verse 5. It said, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double." It says, "How much hath she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and I shall see no sorrow," right? Resting peacefully, all right? But this place is about to go to sleep and not wake up, okay? It says, "Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahawah, Bahasham, the Most High Power, who judgeth her." It says, "And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning," right? It says, and they're not weeping because, she's destroyed. They're weeping because this place, is a consumer, right? And they were being made rich off this place. All right. So it says, "Standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come." Okay, because in 1 hour, this place is going to be completely and utterly destroyed. All right. And it says, "And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore." Okay, because they were being made rich off this place, right? Because that's what America does. It just, all it does is consume, right? So you have these tariffs and these different things that are, affecting this place, right? And America, they love to buy stuff, right? But soon this place is going to be put to sleep, all right? Through Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, right? Bahasham Qadash. Okay, and in 1 hour it says, "For in 1 hour," verse 10, "is thy judgment come." For in 1 hour, this place is going to be utterly and completely destroyed. This place is going to be rocked to sleep. All right, just as you see Nero sleeping, hey, this place is going to be utterly sleeping and is not going to wake up. All right, so I just wanted to do this quick lesson, right? Lord's will. This is edifying. Matter of fact, let's go. Let's see. Here we go. Let's read verse 21. Verse 20 says, "Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High have avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all." Right? Good night. Good night, Babylon. All right. This place is about to be gone. All right. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Kol Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad. A mighty shalom to the 144,000 men, right? Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, who have ruled well to the spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, right? Another mighty shalom to the rest of the elect out there, man. Stay diligent, stay focused, right? Keep praying for the downfall, right, of this place, Babylon, man, right? And the deliverance of the elect, okay? For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? And we continue to pray, for the kingdom of heaven, all right, to be upon us. All right, and with that, I'll say shalom.